Rise of the Tomb Raider. Is it worth a buy? Let's read. Featuring epic, high-octane action moments set in the most beautiful, hostile environments on Earth, Rise of the Tomb Raider delivers a cinematic, yes it does, survival action adventure where you will join Lara Croft on her first tomb raiding expedition as she seeks to discover the secret of immortality. This is going to be a brand new style of review for me. There's no bell. It's broke. I'm not going to swear, I'm not going to shout, I'm not going to scream. I am going to approach this in a completely different way. I am going to keep calm. I am refusing to allow this game to send me into a rage. I'm going to talk to you in a very intellectual way about what I thought of Tomb Raider, well, Rise of Tomb Raider. So let's start. It's a third-person adventure game where you are Lara Croft, obviously, and you are doing your first tomb raid. The story is basically, I won't spoil it, but you're kind of following on from your father's footsteps, who was onto something about immortality, and you're trying to recover this secret of immortality before this group of nasty people do, and that's all I'm going to tell you on the story. The graphics are absolutely amazing. It's the best graphics I've ever seen in a game. These are just jaw-droppingly good. I've seen nothing like it. Unbelievable, and it runs so well on the PC. I've been playing this with a keyboard and mouse, had absolutely zero problem with it. It's a very solid port onto the PC. Aiming with the mouse and keyboard, absolutely fine. Much better than it will be on a controller. I'd probably say most games are better on a mouse and keyboard, but this one, having tried both, is way better on the mouse and keyboard than it is on a controller. I was shooting this guy, trying to hit him in the face, and I was able to just make a very minute adjustment with the mouse to get a perfect face shot, and it's so easy, and it's so good, and it's so responsive. So again, no problems at all in that area. The cutscene and story is pretty decent. I quite like the idea of the story where you are following on from your dad's footsteps. There's lots of flashbacks to your youth, as how your dad was so busy and he kind of neglected you a bit. It's all good. The story was really nice. So, you know, it was getting pluses all around from me. Until I actually started to play the game. And that's when I discovered that it's a big pile of shit. The gameplay is just horrible. The game design is just an abomination. Basically, to sum up this game, you go from one tiny little zone to another, solving the little puzzles in each zone, and that's it. It's a linear cakewalk, guys, from beginning to end, and it's so scripted that it's just laughable. It's just the most scripted game I've ever played, so much so that I uninstalled it at a point where it wouldn't even let me progress until I'd crafted a rope arrow. It was so kind of, excuse me, you can't actually go any further than this without the rope arrow, because you're gonna need the rope arrow to do shit, so you have to. And I'm just like, no, I'm sorry, I don't like games like that. I don't like games that make you go through every single trap that there ever was in this game. You know, you will walk along there, there is a trap there, you will either die or thwart the trap. Well, why can't I go another way? Because it's a linear game. You have to go that way. That's what we do. It's all linear. The whole thing from beginning to the end is one big linear walkthrough. You just get to each area, and this area might keep you for an hour and a half, and each area takes a certain amount of time to progress through. Like the snowy area where you kill the animals, you've got, it's about a 200 meter square fenced off area with, I don't know, 4 deer, 6 rabbits and 10 birds in it, and a few trees you can climb that get you to some loot, and you'll be there an hour running around there doing all this shit. You feel like you're doing nothing because it's just stuck in this little area, and you do some basic crafting in there, and then something happens. The area gets filled with nasty guys who make a camp, and then they just magically appear there, and so you then have to go and spend a bit of 20 minutes killing all them guys and looting the loot off them and crafting a bit more and so on and so forth. And then you get to leave that area and you have to fight a bear, but to fight the bear you got to have poison arrows. But fear not, because to get the poison arrows you just happen to look down and there's some mushrooms that you can craft into poisonous arrows, and there's some wood over there that you can craft into arrows, and you need paper, and there it is right there, right in front of you guys, just happens to be there. So everything's there for you because you've done good. You've followed the developer's little little path, which you don't have much choice on because it's the only fucking path in the game. Shit, you swore. Mac, you pressed the bell. You said there was no bell. Where did you get that bell? I demand to know where this bell came from. Well, this is my son's bell, and it's a slightly different pitch to my bell. I mean, I'll try and get my bell ringing. Sometimes if I hit it hard, it rings. Ring! Yeah, but it's about a semitone lower. It's a different pitch. It's a lower pitch. Mac, who cares? I've got a bell, and you promised no bell and no swear. Put the bell down. Put the bell down. No, put it down on the bell. No, put it down. You'll break that, and then there'll be trouble. Mac, stop ringing the fucking bell. Sorry, I won't miss. And you swore again. Stop ringing the bell. F off. No, Mac, don't just fucking do it. This game's fucking whack. I just can't do it, guys. I can't review a game properly. I just don't. Right? Look. At the end of the day, this is what this is, guys. It's just little areas, right? Go from one little area to another, do the puzzle, kill the guys, move on to the next area. In between these little areas, you'll walk along precarious mountain paths. And you know what? The description says high-octane action moments. I haven't found any high-octane action moments in this game. What I found is predictable scripted moments, because every time you walk along a mountain and it's like a precarious path, you know that it's going to collapse. I don't believe there's anybody out there who is just kind of sitting there with a controller on the sofa going, wow, I'm walking along this precarious path. Nothing's going to happen. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And then they walk a bit further and then they slip and then the wind blows and they nearly fall and it's like, wow, that was a high-octane fucking epic moment there that I just did not see coming. Is that really, is that what's happening? Is that what, you know, I'm beginning to think that that's what's happening, that there's people out there sitting on sofas that can't see what this game is and they're loving it. They're going on Steam and they're saying it's very positive. I mean, bloody hell, guys. 9.5 Game Informer. Rise of the Tomb Raider is an adrenaline rush. It's not an adrenaline rush. It's not. IGN, the most fascinating action hero in video games today. 9.3 they give it. 9.3. 9.3, guys. Anyway, get on with it. So you kill all the animals, then it gets full of men, you kill all the men, then you get a bear, you kill the bear, then you go to the next area that has a puzzle, so you do the puzzle, then you walk along a few precarious places, have a few epic adrenaline moments, high-octane action moments, and then you come to another area where there's another puzzle. Oh, sorry, a few cutscenes in between there as well to span it out a bit, and then you come to another puzzle, then you come to some more guys, and then you have to kill a few more guys, and then you move to the next area, which is another tiny area, and do a few more puzzles, and then you meet a woman who you think might be a lesbian but she just isn't, and so on and so forth, until you come to a point where it says, oh Mac, you can't progress any further because you haven't crafted rope arrows yet. Oh, right. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. Rather than go and craft the rope arrows, how about I uninstall this big pile of banter piss from my PC? Thanks. And that's what I did. I uninstalled the game. I couldn't face it another hour. It was just predictable, boring. Done it. I've done it. I could walk into Walmart, Game, Best Buy, anywhere and go straight to the PS4, Xbox game rack and I could go same. It's just the same. It is the same as every other third-person game with that bit of crafting, the usual cutscenes, the scripted fucking epic high-octane action moments, you know, the kind, and it's just all the same. It's just another one of them. Bit leaping around from ledge to ledge, few cutscenes thrown in, well, a lot of cutscenes thrown in, and that's the game. And that's the game, guys. That's it. In a nutshell, it's the same old bullshit. It offers nothing new. At least Mad Max offered more with the car progression and the actual solo player progression and had the whole scavenging thing done with shitloads to do. This is just a linear, boring cakewalk following the devs' little... And do you know what? Guys? You know the worst thing about this? I actually think, right, and this is just my opinion, but I actually think that the developers of games like this look at their audience as thick and gullible idiots. And it's like, hey look, we'll do the same old and hype the shit out of it, put it on all the fucking websites, put it on the bus stops, put an advert on TV. People will buy it. People will buy it we'll just get a few people to say good shit about it, and bring a few YouTubers in, how gullible they are, sit them down, say nice things about them and how much you love their content, and give them a free copy. And hey, they'll be eating out your hand. They'll get all excited on YouTube about the game. People will watch it. We'll get a few of them streaming it. Great stuff. Give a few bits and bobs away. People will buy it en masse, and that's exactly what happens. And then you know what they'll do, guys? They'll start work on their next game. And you know what the next game's going to be? Exactly the same as this. You're going to have your third person, you're going to have your cutscenes, you're going to have your crafting, you're going to have your perk system, and you're going to have your linear bullshit. And that's the way gaming is, and it's just rinse and repeat and rinse and we've got two types of games. We've got the linear one, which is this with all the stuff that I've mentioned. Then you've got the open world one, which the only difference is between this is it's an open world version of exactly the same. Your third person, your cutscenes, your crafting, your perks, but it's open world. And that's what you've got on the consoles. That it's full of them. I can name a load of them off the top of my head. They are all identical games. And do you know what? This year, you're going to say, there's the Division. Division's coming out. I know nothing about the Division. Nothing. I've seen a little tiny bit of gameplay, about 5 minutes. But I bet you what? I bet it's exactly the same as all these others. Because that's all these developers need to do. That's as much mental capacity as they need to exert. Because there's an army of people out there just queuing up to buy it. And as long as people are buying this bullshit, they'll keep making this bullshit. And it is bullshit. I'm going to go and see how many of my friends have bought this. Right, 10 of my friends, and they're not really friends, I don't even know who these people are, but I have 200, I have hundreds of friends. Right, well, I'm going to look at how much time they've spent in this game. Now, these are people, I'm not going to name their names to protect their identity, but this is people who've fallen for the bullshit, right? These are people that have fallen totally for the bullshit. We have one guy's playing it now, and he's done 6 hours. Nobody else is playing it. Now, the others, 4 hours, 0.1 hour, 2.2 hours, 3.8 hours, 8.3 hours, 1.3 hour, 3.5 hours, 5.1 hours, 0.4 hours. And this game's been out for, well, it's now Saturday. So it speaks volumes, guys. It's a shit game. I know this review hasn't been very good or in depth, and people are going to say, hey, Mac, you've only played it for 4.1 hours. I'm probably going to be told I haven't finished the prologue or something, or the tutorial, which I have. But it's irrelevant because it's just the same old, same old. It's just boring. And I have no desire to go anywhere near this filth again. We've been there, we've done it all. We want something new, and there's the vast majority of people don't want something new. They just want the same old bullshit, and they're getting it and they're loving it. So maybe I'm just so out of touch now with what people want, but it's not going to stop me from ringing that. It's not going to stop me from saying this is bullshit. And you can disagree with us all you want in the comments, but this is just the same old third person linear bullshit. It's just got a different protagonist in it, but nothing else is different. It could be, you could call this game anything that's been released in the last 10-15 years. It's exactly the same, but on a small fucking scale. It's awful. It's bullshit. It's just like A, B, C, D, E, F, G laid out right before you. Follow that fucking yellow brick road, do everything in the right order, and you'll get to the end. And then you can say the magic words, I beat it, I beat Mom, I beat Tomb Raider, Mom,